Ah, the rotten fields. Alright. How's it going, everybody? I'm just gonna play over talk over some gameplay and just talk about the game. Just Dead by Daylight in general right now. If you hear some noise in the background, my dogs are playing. Okay, Bill's just gone. My dogs are playing, so they might get, you know, loud. I got a basic build on. I just need to play as Yui, so you know, that's what's going on. But I just want to talk about the game and like just say things in my opinion and just like get it out there. So I think that this game. So right now, if you don't know, I guess what I should preface this with, the MMR system is new. They got a new MMR system. You can no longer see ranks, and I guess it's bilateral, which means you're likely to get paired with people at your skill level, but you also end up being backfill. It's a whole thing. But personally, I think it's a bad thing. Really, Bill? I personally think it's a bad thing. But I'll explain why in a second. But I just want to let you know that's the thing. Also, I personally think that there's a change in the past that it irked me ever since it happened, and it kind of killed the game for some players, and I'll explain. Let's start off with the MMR changes. I think that they have good intentions with implementing the MMR and trying to space out the community. But I think that this game is a type of game that doesn't need the MMR. This game, yes it does have ranks, but the ranks really don't seem to matter that much. I would say something different if you know, it felt like the ranks had more impact, and like, you know, it felt good when you got to rank 1. But to be honest with you, getting to rank 1 is not very getting to rank 1 is not very fun, or is it very interesting or cool. You just kind of get there and you just kind of like, well, I mean, I'm here. You're like, well, I'm here, and most of the time you don't even generally mean to get there, you just end up there. I don't think it's a fun rank to be at, because I guess it means that your MMR is higher, because my rank right now is naturally rank 1. So but I find that it's not very useful to be here. At this point in the game, it doesn't really benefit anybody to be at rank 1. And like, all it is just a thing to slow down your queues. And I feel like at that point there's no reason to even, like, I get why they hide the rank, because there's no reason for the ranks at all, because it's just a playtime measure. If you played a lot, you'll be at a higher rank. If you played a little, you might be at a lower rank. But ultimately, I think it is a useless thing in the system in the game. Now, I do have a system that I do think is actually I do actually think is good. And I do, however, think that it's time for the MMR system to go. I do think that it is good for the lower like end, the new players who don't quite grasp the full concept of the game yet and are trying to improve. But I think that, to be honest with you, at this point, the game doesn't need MMR. The game is too casual friendly and too, like, just random with too many variables for MMR to be in this game. I know that they said they wanted to be based on escapes. I know they said that they want it to be based on escapes, but I feel like basing it on escapes does nothing for the game. And in reality, I feel like it'll ultimately make killers play more toxic because the game is being based on escapes. So it's gonna incentivize killers to just play with all the perks that prevent survivors from escaping and killers getting as many kills as possible. So I feel like with the new statement, with that statement, I feel like what's ultimately gonna happen is we're gonna see a large rise in the perks of No Edge and Blood Warden that prevent survivors from escaping, which in my opinion is not a good thing. I ultimately think that though there is good intentions behind the MMR, I feel like it is a system that just does not fit this game with how many variables there are in this game. I feel like the systems for MMR work in other games where they're team-based and there's a little bit more, you know, there's a little bit more to with the game and the ability to, like, you know, say someone's skill based off how well they did and such. But like in this game, escaping is such a small factor that in reality I feel like almost no one is going to care about the MMR system. There's no reason for them to care about the MMR system. They don't gain anything for playing at a higher MMR besides longer queue times end up being backfill for players that they probably don't want to be playing with because they're not doing anything. And I know they're trying to change this, but I have a feeling that as much work as they try to do, it will never be enough. I feel like the MMR system just shouldn't be in this game. I feel like it doesn't work in this game. And I feel like it needs significant changes. Yeah, I don't make that. You get a triple vault? No. Watch this. Damn it. Oh well. But I feel like at this point it doesn't work. It's just splitting the community up. This community is it's not as big as it used to be, but it's still very large. But I feel like splitting up the community even more is pointless at this point. There's no reason anymore in this game to make it so the community is split up and they just have longer queue times for either side. Now, enough about the MMR and my pointless thoughts of somebody who's absolute trash. But I want to talk about a change that I think about a lot, and that really just like bothers me that it's in the game and that it happened at all. And I think that it needs to go away as soon as possible because it is not a good change. And that is the overheat for Billy. I think Billy overheating was not a necessary thing or something that should have happened in the first place. I feel like Billy overheating, the chainsaw overheating on Billy was a change that no one asked for and came out of nowhere. And I think it ultimately negatively impacted the game. One of the big reasons that I feel like it ultimately negatively impacted the game is that anybody that was playing Billy that enjoyed Billy before probably no longer likes playing Billy now. Oh, I thought this was the pal that got used earlier. I was not paying attention. But they probably don't like playing Billy now, and some of them may have just quit at this point because Billy, whenever he was in the game, was in a great state. Billy, like, well, he's still in the game, but like whenever he was played more, he was in a great state. I don't think he needed nerfed. I think that he was a great killer. He was fun to play against. He was unique in his own right, and it was just a fun game every time a Billy was in a game. And when you saw a good one, you saw a good Billy. It was fun. It was insane. It was madness, and it was a lot of fun. It's kind of like playing against Oni is now. But instead, what they did was they gave him an overheat meter that no one asked for no reason. They gave him an overheat meter that no one asked for no reason. I should have went for the window. And fake it. Damn it, she spun. Oh well, I'm dead on hook. But, they gave him an overheat meter for no reason, and it ultimately just killed. It felt like it just killed off every Billy player I see. And now when I see Billy players, they're usually new players, or people just messing around having fun. But it's not like it used to be, where you used to see competitive Billies stomping the game, having fun, but like it wasn't an impressive character. And I feel like ultimately what has happened is, it's just the game has changed, obviously, but I feel like some changes they're just not listening. I feel like if they sat down and they like listened to the community, they would understand that from the way things are seeming, the game is better without MMR, because yes, it's a diverse and you're gonna play with new players, but with playing with those new players, they experience what playing against good players is, so they can develop the mindset of understanding how to counter that, or to like learn to play against that. For example, if you're a survivor and you're against a good killer, you learn how to you learn how to mind game, you learn how to fake things, you figure these things out. And as a new killer, when you're playing against these survivors, you figure these things out. Though it may be frustrating, it's like tough love. You have to go through the trials to understand the game. And I feel like what the MMR system does is it just makes it so those new players can play with people who are lower skill tier, and those good players just continue playing with medium to good players. If it splits up the community, and I think that it extends queue times. And yeah, I know that this was just two random topics, but I think these are really important. I think that the MMR system does not need to be in the game. I think that Billy was nerfed. I think there's a lot of changes that happened that I get, but I feel like there's some changes that happened that I just don't think need to be in the game. And I think MMR is one of them, and I think the Billy change should be reverted. I think Billy should be able to feather again. I feel like that would draw a lot of people back. And I feel like if you were to remove MMR, it would upset some people, but it would greatly help out your game. Because whenever you make it so players feel like they are doing things separately and are able to play, like, you know, as killer and play against new players, or experienced players and play a survivor and play against great killers or bad killers, it creates diversity. What is diversity? Diversity is a spice of life. You know, you have to like change, and like you have to like playing against different things, and if you don't have that, your community starts to become dull. They play the same things. And I feel like that's what's happening. I think, like I said, I want to see Billy go back to old Billy, where Billy is able to feather again. And then one important change that one of my great friends that I play with a lot said is that we need, if you're gonna do this MMR system, which I feel like they're gonna stick with, you need to reward players for playing as they want. I don't care about the escapes. I know it's a team-oriented game, but listen, you need to reward players for with how they want to play. If they want to run the killer all game, let them get unlimited blood points. Don't put a cap on the blood points. Like, sure, you can show when they've reached the iridescent metal, like that's fine with the whole meter, like that could show when you get to your iridescent metal, but don't cap it for somebody who gets chased for all 5 gens and gets killed. That shouldn't be a thing. Or somebody who does a lot of sneaking or gens. If you incentivize players to play the way they want, they are more likely to play the way that you intend them to. So if you incentivize them to, like, hey, if you looped all game, you like looping, you still pipped. Guess what they're more likely to do? When they're not doing what they want to do, they're gonna do the gens, or they're gonna do other things. Incentivize players to play how they want to play. But yeah, guys, I know it was just a quick, short video, and it was just one game. I know it wasn't the greatest gameplay, but you know, I just want to give my thoughts on things. I like I said, TLDR, Billy needs to be reverted back to old Billy, and MMR needs to be removed, in my opinion. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.